Hello again. Welcome to Internet's one of the most irregular football podcasts. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta with me. How are you, Shudipta? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So many things happened since. Well, I am pretty well. Last week I had the chance to watch a football match live. It was a district four match, district mm, division three match, but it was fun to watch. Like everything is opening up, and now it's like we are back. I think we can say that.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of action happening, and lucky you, you're watching a live game. Uh, there's a bit of background noise, I guess. But yeah, I'll
Uh,
excuse
Wait.
myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give my excuse by saying that what's happening. I have moved to a different city and different place. It was kind of overwhelming, and yeah, hopefully from now on we'll keep that irregularity, but not as long as this. Um, and I know Sudeep, yourself, you moved to a new place and you had a bunch of things going on as well. Hopefully you're settled. So we can talk about few. I mean, a lot of things happen, including a lot of international games and club level games. But do you want to start anywhere that looks more enticing or more pressing at this point? We're recording, by the way, on the October 2nd, 2021.
Um, I don't know. Maybe you can start with the Premier League. I guess. I don't know.
Sure, go ahead. There's a big game. Obviously, there's a bit of action today as well. I guess Manchester United was playing, and they were held on Old Trafford. But obviously, big game in terms of Premier League this week is Manchester City versus Liverpool. Um, and there are definitely other games as well, but that's the highlights for me for the Premier League this weekend. Um, I know City have played already Chelsea and beaten them. I mean, to be honest, it looks like a three-way race at this point, with Chelsea in the hunt and City and Liverpool as always. But how do you rate? Oh well, let's go back to what game you were looking forward to see.
Well, past few weeks, only one match actually impressed me a lot. I probably texted you about it. It's about Chelsea versus Manchester City. It was actually literally a how can I say tactical uh, genius from Pep Guardiola. The thing is that he actually solved the problems with like Chelsea in back three, but so far we can say that like it's not the same. How can I say uh, same team? They both has changed a lot, not a lot, a little bit. Lukaku added to the Chelsea side, and who else? Grealish is on the City side. But I was actually kind of surprised that Chelsea started the match with the front two, with Werner and Lukaku against two world class center back. And I thought like it would be more like 3-4-3, but it was more like 3-5-2. So yeah, that the well, um, it actually gave them actually a tactical disadvantage, at least until the first goal, and then they changed the formation. And um, well, at first, like before the match, everything was going on Chelsea's way. So it was kind of a setback for them. But yeah, like you said, I completely agree. It's a three-way race with two Manchester's club and Chelsea.
Sorry, I didn't mean to Manchester Club. I say Liverpool City.
Oh, Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't. For some reason, I'm not buying them. Like, um, well, I watched four or five of their matches, and it it kind of you kind of see the players are already tired. Like it's like a Klopp effect from Dortmund or something, or um, wherever he was before.
No, definitely. I'll still put them ahead of United at this point. I know United has Cristiano, but that doesn't really mean anything at this point. They have lost the game against Aston Villa, and a lot of criticism. And it seems like today they were held as well on home. And I don't have any trust on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be honest. I still think Liverpool is right there as a contender. And although I've seen probably the most, I would say, entertaining game of the season is Liverpool versus Brentford 3-3. It was like a knockout game. You can see, there was a box to box, end to end stuff happening. Yes, it seems like at a certain point, Liverpool were a little bit tired, and that's why Bradford basically taken a bit of advantage. But yeah, as a football fan, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. But I still think that this Liverpool side has a little more depth than United, or I mean, to be honest, Chelsea, City, we agree that they both are great, and Liverpool are right there. To be honest, I think they will be. Well, let's say it's still early season, but whatever I've seen from so far.
Well, no, yeah, that's why I don't actually like. I'm not trying to make any prediction or like big three, big four, but the thing is that like when December will come, everything will be changed
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah,
So in that sense, like what we saw last season, this same bunch of player with Liverpool, and one of them, if they are get get injured, so it would be hard for them to, you know, especially in defense. So yeah, I did not actually like
but do you think it's more important for Liverpool? Well, we're talking about Liverpool City game, right? Yeah, it's happening in Anfield. So is it more important game for Liverpool to get points and retaining race rather than, because I can see the other two contenders are going to get a lot of points. Although I must say that the Southampton game of City and Etihad was a very disappointing game, but that can happen in a season, right? And it's just started. Um, but yeah, I to be honest, I think it's more important for and City has never won anything in Anfield, if I'm right, under Pep Guardiola.
not really. Last season they beat Liverpool by 5-0.
But was it a Premier League or is it a Carabao?
It's in the Premier League actually.
Okay, I might have confused myself, but
Yeah, but it was like a win after, I don't
yeah, no,
know,
I remember that.
16, 17 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. But still, yeah, it would be a huge game for Liverpool on home, and if they want to keep the hunt going, definitely. And yeah, still very entertaining side in terms of attack. Although I must say that the bench does look a little bit thin on me. I mean, that's where City and Chelsea are way better side in terms of depth.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I wanted to add, like with Thomas Tuchel, is like he's not like he never played any clubs, before in a similar formation for like 10, 13 matches. But for still Chelsea, he is like sticking up with this, three in the back, two in front. But sometimes nowadays he's trying to add Kovacic in the mix, and but for some reason I don't know. Yeah, it worked before with other teams, but with City or probably with Liverpool, it won't work. Like three in the mid, because the fiercing thing about Chelsea was their front three, like how they operated, because how they held back the defender, finding space like in between the defense and offense, defense and midfield, and try to create something. And also like there was this tendency to winning the second ball, but it kind of like a little bit less, I would say. But it's like still early in the season, like
No, no,
to
fair enough.
say.
But the problem, I think we talked last time about Chelsea and Liverpool game, and I said Chelsea were lucky because of the red card. I can't remember who was red carded, but was probably Alonso or something. I can't remember. But Chelsea were lucky to have that game drawn because a lot of times Liverpool forwards were able to shoot, which doesn't happen in the Chelsea kind of 3-5 sort of, midfield of five and three back. Doesn't happen a lot, and because of a red card, they seem to.
Uh, Actually, that's where Pep Guardiola's tactical genius came, because like everyone is knowing, like knows that like he doesn't have any striker. Like yeah, probably Gabriel Jesus has, but he's playing as a right winger now. For the first few matches, we saw Phil Foden was trying to fill in, then Sterling. But the thing is that like it's not about player or anyone else. It's like whoever was playing in this position, like in this front three, they are trying to like hold the Chelsea back a little bit, so that like they cannot actually play from the back. And there is this like they cut the passes in between the center backs to Kante. Like they pressed him and they pushed him inside a little bit, and also like when um, whoever was trying to filling up these positions, like he doesn't have a much passing option, so like they cut them in the throat. But when they actually make the shift, like to from 3-5-2 to 3-4-3 after the goal, then they were actually creating problems. And that's why I like that. I like that match actually, because yeah, like City created a lot of chances, like a lot. If they had like a mm, I don't know, like a uh, uh, recognized number nine, they could have actually scored more. But
Yeah, that's
it,
that's
it,
almost your. Every
yeah,
every time
like
I watch City, I feel like they should have had someone.
yeah.
I mean, they were, somehow I think not signing Harry Kane actually it's a blessing in disguise because Harry Kane is not the striker that used to be Harry Kane anymore. If you see Harry Kane's recent games of the recent years, like last couple of years at least, um, they should have gone for someone else, and they should go for someone else. They need a number nine. I don't know if they can get it in window of winter window, but it would be hard. But they should have gone for that because
Well, so far the news is I heard that like they bought Gabriel Jesus in January 2017 from Palmeiras, I guess. But they are actually like looking into that window with this South American player, so like if they are available or something like this.
yeah, every team has its strength and weakness, but yeah, Uh, for now on, except those top three, do you think anyone else from outside might push it a bit? Because we talked about
No, actually,
Tottenham, and they have
yeah, I
failed
was
to.
going to say that actually. Like in our last video, we were actually like, at least I was hopeful about Tottenham, how they were playing, and now the thing is that like against them, against Arsenal, wow, it was I have never expected that actually, and also like yeah, like before the third goal, Harry Kane was desperate. He lost the ball in the middle, and he was tracking back and trying to tackle um, Saka, and but he could not actually. He was not a defender, you know. Like, but the thing is that like there is a vertical gaps in Tottenham's team, so they need to actually like they're not like making those lines when other teams are attacking. So like this is kind of a problem with Tottenham now.
No,
I
I definitely think whatever the resources Nuno has in Tottenham Hotspur, he hasn't really utilized them. I couldn't understand why time and again Dele Alli has been played. You know, he's been not the same player what he was under Mauricio Pochettino or something like that. He's definitely done no good in terms of certain players
Yeah,
play.
also they lost Eric Lamela this summer,
And see how Eric
and
Lamela is doing in Sevilla
yeah,
because he's playing
exactly.
in better position, right? So there is something about the English team doesn't know how to utilize their most attacking options. Say for example Giovanni Lo Celso, who plays very differently for Argentina national team, and when he comes to Tottenham Hotspur, he's not even getting into that game against Arsenal, which kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, he's like 2 3 years behind. Like he's not about physical fitness or anything. Yeah, I don't think he is not fit or anything like this. But when he was playing against Venezuela, I saw him like around lurking around the box. So
So he was
uh,
given that freedom rather than here.
yeah,
I think the position the Dele Alli plays. I think if they switch Lo Celso and that, I guess they will get a lot more goals or at least
I
creating
wouldn't say
chance.
go for a switch. Like I don't think Dele Alli would be in the first team. Like
Yeah, no, I don't know, but I thought also in the back. I guess Davidson Sanchez is still shaky for me. Eric Dyer doesn't look convincing to be honest. Um, But yeah, again, we're talking about Hotspur. Let's see how they turn it around and if they can.
yeah,
Um,
also like Hurricane is like he seems a little bit disappointed, like how teams are underperforming. He was trying to fill up these gaps, like at least vertically he was tracking back, but you cannot expect these things from a how can I say, one of the best striker in Premier League. So
yeah, no, fair enough. But coming back to City,
yeah,
how do you see their players like Grealish or on the other side Mahrez or Sterling is doing? It seems to me Sterling lost a little bit of confidence what he has a couple of years ago. I mean, he looks a very different player at this point rather than. I mean, there's a bit of low definitely.
yeah, I think players like Phil Foden can do his job more or less. Also, Jack Grealish was unleashed on the left wings for a few matches.
Yeah,
So
but what I got the vibe that Grealish was main man for Aston Villa whenever he was there, right? But he has to upgrade on you know Manchester City is a bigger team, not just in England,
yeah,
but in the Europe. He has to adjust certain way of. I found sometimes he kind of slowed the game down or made it a little bit more predictable in terms of attack. Um, I think it will come up. It may take some time, but
yeah. Also, I think like I don't actually agree him playing in the left wings. Actually, Phil Foden is. like
I agree. I
more
agree.
offensive
I agree totally.
players.
Phil Foden would
But
have been very, very better. I mean, better option than Grealish there.
yeah, but with Pep, like with his like trying to control everything, he was actually how can I say, like trying to get the second balls just outside the box. So like there's two outswinger from the wings, Gabriel Jesus, like they cross a little bit more these days, or like a small flick inside, and yeah, they are trying to get these balls, like they're trying to also like putting some pressure, some sort of pressure on opponents, like you can, if even if you clear, the ball will be on our side or something like this. And but thing is that like with Grealish, is not a good, as good finisher as Foden or Sterling, and I would say like he would be in the left side of the midfield, like it's more like his position, like number 8.
Yeah, more on the half lines probably.
Yeah.
Uh, but how do you rate? Well, City have only considered one goal in Premier League. Uh, I mean, they have world-class centre back definitely, and a very good goalkeeper as well. But they did concede 5 goals in Europe.
That's what I was going to say next, actually. The thing is that I watched a PSG match. They created 18 chances. Seven of them were not 18 chances, 18 shoots. There were probably more than 34 chances were created, like half chances or something like this. And like we are talking about a 90 minutes match. Like any team like created this sort of, like this amount of chances, they would have ended up scoring at least like 2 3 goals.
Well, if they
But
have the score.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, with PSG and City, it kind of felt like, for me, the match was like a best attack versus best defense, like in a way, because PSG was pushing back to their side, and they are trying to get this over with this amazing front three, but there
What
weren't actually like nothing much.
what amazed
But
me at the PSG because they have left 3 players. Well, Neymar tried to sometime coming back and defend a bit, but they left the front three up there. It was almost like Luis Enrique's MSN and other 7.5 players or 7 defended. And whenever they get the ball, just forward it. But again, City went with the because Pep already said after the game, because there are 2 ways of playing against PSG with that attack, is sitting deep and lose control, or have the control and dominate the possession and try to, and knowing Pep, he's going to go for the later option. But what reminded me of Mauricio Pochettino's tactical kind of switch is more like Luis Enrique's Barcelona that we saw, because he left those 3 more or less up front. Yeah, Neymar tried to come back at times, but yeah, it was fascinating to see, and all I'm going a little bit here and there as well. Sorry about that, but PSG. If you see Pochettino's game plan, even in Tottenham, he tried to play. He likes to play narrow. There are less of width on his attack. Yes, he had Hong Min Sun and others in such as Lucas Moura, and in later season Dele Alli in the first in Spurs. But he tries to get them narrowed down with the strikers, and the wing backs basically fly overs normally. There are a lot of question mark on Pochettino how he would manage against City, but he kept that with natural players, as well as there were overlapping runs from Hakimi at least on the right hand side on certain, especially on the Messi goal that created Messi's space by Hakimi, or taking Cancelo out of the game. But it was fascinating to see Pochettino adjusted a little bit against Pep. But yeah, go ahead. Your
Yeah,
point.
I was going to say that like PSG, like Pep knew that like they weren't actually good in pressure. Like those players, even like Neymar was losing balls in the middle, and the thing is that like
To be honest, Neymar, it's one of the worst performance I've seen from him.
yeah, I have never seen Neymar playing like this before. But yeah, like with him, we always can expect that like he can take down two, three players or at least one, two players, and then. But I think it's more like his confidence. I don't know. He's suffering from some sort of lack of confidence with Mbappe and Messi tying up and with everything, and because he was like the match after or before I forgot actually. Like he wasn't actually passing ball to Mbappe, and he was actually like when he was substituted, he was making some sort of complaining. Yeah, he was trying too hard, and sometimes you just have to let it go.
Yeah, someday it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, someday it doesn't work, so like you have to try. That's the thing with him, and with when he was playing with Brazil. Like
Tries too much.
sometimes he tried too much. Like he like everyone knows that like he is one of the top five players right now, and he should just let it be. So yeah, like but the thing with I was worried with I don't like with PSG. They aren't actually using Paredes because um, I don't know, like for Argentina it's sometimes different, but with PSG he was kind of like a, how can I say, like a big part of the team, like like a one. But under Herrera is playing well, okay, but I don't
Well,
see
he
him.
went for two box to box midfielder like Herrera and I would say the other one. There's Verratti, Herrera, and Gaia.
Yeah,
So two box to box and Verratti kind of sitting in deeper
yeah,
playmaking.
actually, like a Gaia's move is like kind of interested. Like it was interesting for me. Like I kind of impressed by him, like how he was playing, and I think like he would take out Herrera and playing Paredes because he was the one who like engineered the things behind and push a little bit further Gaia or Verratti, because Verratti and Messi, how they were linking in the game, like two, like number 8 and number 10 trying to create something. It's kind of fun to watch. And um, with Gaia, it would be like like a he's still young. He has excellent pace, so like he could actually like go past the midfielder who was actually so like I would say like yeah, Herrera played relatively well, and I can understand like why he went for two box to box, because
To
they
win
were actually
against midfield, win ball against
Ye-
midfield of City, right?
yeah,
He had no
also
other
like
choice.
no, not like not just that. Also, like they were trying to create those vertical. Sorry. They were trying to how can I say, see block those vertical passes from De
Mm.
Bruyne, and also so whoever playing at the time in the other side of the midfield. So they were actually like trying to block those things. Yeah, but I what I'm worried about PSG is like they haven't actually impressed me defensively the whole season.
Yeah, there's definitely vulnerability when you have the three top guys doesn't really track back as much. then you'd have a little bit of imbalance in the team and how you defend. I think he's getting more ideas, especially with the top team against City. If we get the win, that always helps. But there are challenges PSG have to face. But the problem I was talking about is City, who didn't concede more than one goal in Premier League, but conceded 5 goals in Champions League so far, and also their scoring ability in terms of it didn't feel as bad as in Premier League, but it felt a little bit. You can notice that if they had a goal scorer such as
Yeah, they so far scored like 6 goals, like the other
yeah
match.
yeah yeah
But the thing with City is like I would say like both of the teams are like in under pressure. Like they have to win this Champions League this year or something like this. So it's like now or never. And when you put this sort of pressure, some like if something went wrong in the match, it would be hard to like follow back or anything like this.
okay. Moving on from City and PSG game, what else uh, have you had a chance to see some of the highlights, at least if you haven't seen the games in the Champions League?
Yeah, actually, I did. So far, I liked how Nagelsmann is doing the work with Bayern Munich. But with Lewandowski in your side, it's much more easier. But so far, I would say like Bayern is still one of the
Top
how
teams
can I
out
say
there, yeah.
top teams. Yeah. But other than that, actually, well, every other team has like ups and downs. Like, but the game like no, actually don't then not any other team actually interests me a lot.
I actually liked, especially the approach of the game. I liked a lot about AC Milan, how they're trying to be. They're back in the Champions League, and especially the game against Liverpool. Obviously, it's a historical battle against Liverpool. In Anfield, they were without, they're some of the famous names, but still, still a very young side, and they fought very hard. I think they were very very unlucky to lose against Atletico in San Siro. The goal, I think it was in span of 6 or 7 minutes they conceded 2 goals. Otherwise, they were winning. But there are very good signs from AC Milan. I think I was very very. I liked the way they played. I mean, it reminded me of some of the 2006 and sort of AC Milan game, although very different teams and very different coaches. But the spirit is there, and hopefully they'll qualify. Although the group is very very tough. Liverpool and Atletico Madrid are right now. I think it's a better team, but they've definitely showed some of the fighting spirit. The other game I wanted to mention is Real Madrid got beaten by Sheriff in Bernabeu, a champion from Moldova, and Madrid got beaten by 2-1, and Benzema scoring the only penalty. But yes, the 2 goals, especially the last goal, was a cracking goal from Sheriff, and Madrid definitely suffered a hit back. It's not just Madrid. Inter Milan on that group drew against Shakhtar. They had quite a bit of chances, but Zeko and Lautaro didn't really capitalize. And I think Inter Milan suffered because they have dominated the game against Real Madrid and they couldn't get the win. And also they have dominated the game against, well, at least they have five clear chances. I would say they have dominated the game, but they had clear chances and they couldn't take it. So it makes interesting on that group as well, who will go through. Um, Other than that, in Champions League, I thought kind of business as usual. Well, yeah, and obviously you have to talk about when you talk about Champions League about the situation of Barcelona they're going through.
I think we will talk about it later because I don't know like how much time will take it because there
Yeah,
are so
yeah.
many things to say.
Let's talk about Barcelona later. But yeah,
But what about Chelsea? Like, how did you watch their game?
problem with Champions League is it's in Canada time. I mean, especially in the Pacific time, it's in the noon, and it's in the
Hmm.
working day, so it's hard to get any game time in live. But I do see a detailed match highlights. Last week was a bit of struggle, but I saw the highlights of and Chelsea does look very good, especially addition of Lukaku. It's especially you kind of assume that they will do very well, at least in the group stage, because Chelsea has overall they're a very balanced team at this point.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't like things about Chelsea is that like they sometimes go for like a front two or like they how can I say uh, uh, they don't actually play with Kai Havertz. So like yeah, he is a different player in Chelsea. Like he's been there for like 1 year, but I think he is one of the like how can I say main key player in their game. And so far this season, I don't actually see him like playing too much or like giving some sort of like a responsibility that he was given last season. So for me, well, that this is only the bad thing I could actually found from Chelsea game because there were actually like technically solid so far.
No, definitely, I agree. I think Tuchel is trying to get a feeling about it, how the attack does without say for example Mason Mount. We know Mason Mount what he can do, right? Or Havertz. Havertz has been. I wouldn't say he's as influential as Leverkusen, but he's a definitely one of the top players on the attacking third for Chelsea. Uh, but looking at the Werner and um, Lukaku, they're trying to build a partnership. What Lukaku have done with Lautaro Martinez, I think that they're trying to find a way.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think that the main reason they are trying to find this sort of partnership because of Werner's ability to get into the space, like get behind the line or probably find some sort of space in between the line before, like
yeah, but the problem with the Werner right now, I mean not right now. He's struggling once he arrived in Chelsea. He was a very different player before, or looked
yeah.
to be a very different player. But then once if Werner starts to click, it would look good. But I don't know how long this experimentation works for Tuchel. But I think he's trying to see his options right there. And in Champions League group stages, you do face one or two key games, but most of them you kind of think they should win it. Uh, they should win it given the squad they have. Um, yeah. Other than that, I think Atletico Madrid is still in hunt. I think Liverpool started fairly well in terms of they've uh, they've played two and won two, and especially the game against AC Milan wasn't because there was like coming back, uh, taking the lead, and AC Milan took the lead on 2-1 and kind of stunned them in halftime. and then they have to come back and basically find goals, which they did. A bit of lucky, but then again, they were more dominated team and a better team definitely than AC Milan. Uh, so yeah, it's so far it looks Bayern is definitely one of the top team. So is City. So is PSG. But then we're talking about April, come April, March, April. That would be a very different tournament right there. Real Madrid is still there, although they have lost versus Sheriff.
Uh, yeah, like last time when we talked about Real Madrid squad, we probably agreed upon like um, how Vinicius was playing before, but last few games he was okay. I would say like he was kind of okay, and how can I say? Yeah, he is taking the lead, like taking the lead of this position, like letting Ancelotti know, like, okay, I am the guy for you on the left. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
he definitely is a guy, and thankfully they have Benzema who can score and who can drift around.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
not more of a stationary
Actually,
striker.
I kind of like their partnership in the top, because Benzema is also like good in space.
Yes,
Like
and also there is some sort of understanding. I think it's growing with time with Hazard. Hazard is
yeah,
once he's fit, once he's coming back. But Hazard doesn't still look like this Hazard we know in Chelsea, but he still looks a little bit more nimble. Trying to connect, and that looks great. But I think uh, Ancelotti has this kid, both of the kid, Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. And Vinicius, I like him because his finishing isn't great, but when he's missing, he still smiles almost like a Ronaldinho.
yeah, exactly.
Ronaldinho, you can't hate that player, even if you're in opposition, because he gives you that smile and friendliness. And even if he's fouled, and even if he's trying to do a trick and it didn't go as he thought, he smiled.
Yeah, like I like when he does that. Like he got up every time. It is always fun to watch player who's like trying, not
Fun
like too
things,
much, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, trying like according by the book, like what should what he's supposed to do,
Yeah, yeah. So in that sense, I think he's obviously have to be better in terms of finishing. But I think even for Rodrigo, it goes same. I mean, I like watching them on that flank rather than at this point. It sounds ridiculous, but rather than Hazard. But Hazard looks to be slowly coming back, and hopefully he can.
Well, actually, that gives me an idea. Like they have this abundance of players on the left,
Yeah,
and when they won La Decima, they used Di Maria as a left center midfielder because of his work rate and stuff like this. And yeah, it gave me an idea. Like I saw um, um, Rodrigo was playing, and he was also like checking back and stuff like this. If they, I wouldn't say like they can make Di Maria out of him, but he can still can play in this position and try to connect with Vinicius and stuff like this. Like this small experiment they can
no,
actually go.
definitely. I hear you, but they already have a very good midfielder in Kamavinga. He's very exciting, uh, and and also if you can bring back Modric for 35, 36-year-old guy, he's very very fit, and also Cruz. But the problem Real Madrid is facing at this point, it looks like for the first time in a long time, Casemiro looks like a little tired to me. He looks a little bit slow, or something is off about him. Yes, there are other players who are trying to cover, such as Valverde, who's very dynamic. He's going to cover you a lot of space. But if Casemiro doesn't form, it's going to be tough, given the the depth.
Right now, actually, there is no replacement of him
No,
in team.
no, he's
That's
key.
that is the best.
He's the
Yeah,
key.
and he has to play at least like 50 games. This
Plus,
combining with the like
yeah,
yeah, Liga
international
and
games.
yeah. So I don't know, like it could be a problem because yeah, I saw that it like he was missing like 2 3 yards. You know, like the position he was supposed to be, he was like 2 3 yards like below from that position, and sometimes he was a little bit sloppy in tackling, and I think it's kind of like he had this like a really short what can I say summer break, um, only for a month, and he went back and started training for Real Madrid. And I would say like they should have actually given him some sort of rest, like in the beginning at least.
Well, right now Real Madrid is still. I think I'd say still. I think if they're not top, they're top two teams in La Liga at this point. And in order to for them to win anything especially in the home league or any kind of cup, they need Casemiro. So I wouldn't be well. Carlo Ancelotti is a very astute manager, right? He knows his players' conditions. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gives a little bit of rest against the lesser opposition to Casemiro. But again, Madrid still looks not so bad in terms of
Yeah. No,
the
they are
table.
doing okay. They are in the top two right now, probably.
And also, I've seen a game. I think it was Sevilla versus Wolfsburg. It was entertaining. It was a lot of rain in between. There's almost a storm in Wolfsburg stadium, and then there were good game. There was a one call by ref wasn't. I didn't know if it was right, showing a red card to Wolfsburg player, but yeah, Sevilla and Wolfsburg played fairly good game. So there are actually five teams from Spain, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League, with the Villarreal getting that UEFA Europa League win, and lost almost last second against Manchester United in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that otherwise a very good game. So yeah, Spanish teams. I think they're doing all right, except Barcelona. But still, I don't think they. Well, except probably Atletico. I don't see anyone going that far. Well, maybe Real Madrid too, because they don't really play well, but they somehow win it.
Yeah, I would agree with you in that sense, but yeah, Villarreal, they almost had United, and with this last minute goal,
Yeah,
actually,
it was a mistake by Paul Torres. I think he should have gone and cleared
yeah,
it, and he just let it go, and then it was a miscommunication. But
yeah, but
Lingard did very well. Lingard did very well to
yeah,
have it down for Cristiano, and what he does is basically scores.
exactly. But it also like it brings back Manchester United, how things are going there. Also, a little bit of Leeds news.
Sure,
I think
go ahead.
yeah, I think you followed that. We actually kind of predicted these sort of things in the beginning of the season, like with this center back. I liked Paul Pogba for
Are we talking about United?
yeah, yeah. We kind of agreed that like there should be some sort of defensive midfield problem. Like
Declan
it's
Rice.
basically what we saw for like last few 4 5 matches actually. But with this inconsistency, like everyone is saying, like why this team is not performing. We have this like one of the greatest player, probably arguably of all time. We have like, I would say, like in Champions League is the best scorer, But uh, like with Rashford, Martial, and other guys like Sancho, why this team is not performing? Like it's right there in the middle, Like so, yeah, like I liked how Paul Pogba was playing, like for first five matches, I would say 4 5 matches, because he was creating a lot of chances, and those um, those passes to the wings, he kind of like teared apart the defensive systems of the opponents. And the thing is that like he needs someone who can actually like make sure like if the opponent gets the ball back, who can actually like break in the whole thing. That's what actually is missing. Like it's not their defensive fault or anything. It's that they just don't have this sort of player. And right now, like there is this huge link with Kelvin Phillips. Marcelo Bielsa won't be there for Leeds from probably for the next season. And if he leaves, some players like could actually move, and Calvin Phillips would be their target. And it's kind of like really hot news in Manchester so far. I saw, and
But
I think
my apologies. I don't think. Well, it has to be seen because Calvin Phillips is very young player, right?
yeah.
And how he does, but I think he's more suited to a team that really kind of dominates the ball rather than gets dominated. But
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that like next like I kind of agree with you in that sense, like you don't trust Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like so am I. But yeah, right now it's not happening in this season so far. And I think
well, thankfully
uh,
for Calvin Phillips, if I was Calvin
yeah.
Phillips, I'd be relieved. But yeah, he would get definitely a huge amount of salary in United because there is no shortage of that.
Yeah, but also this thing about him, because he was growing up with this club. I don't think it would be easy for him to leave, even in like upcoming 2 3 seasons, even if Bielsa left. But let's see. But the thing is that like I try to make this point, like it's how it's not like how they are playing. It's like or the players they are missing. It's like it's more like the mental shift they needed. Like probably they had this Ronaldo effect for 4 5 matches, then it's gone. Like and they are actually still trying to find their identity. And Solskjaer is still in 90s, um, I don't know, like when would he start playing football for this century? I don't know, but it seems like it also seemed like the Manchester United fans are still in 90s. um, I don't know, like, but
Nostalgia, lot of nostalgia. Yeah.
yeah, like especially, I would say it would be better for them to lose the match against Villarreal, so that they can actually like do actual work other than like finding like Fergie time or something like this. And it's not Alex Ferguson's team anymore, and it's not even like, yeah, I would say it's not even like Solskjaer's team anymore.
Different player, different era, different
Yeah.
style, different kind of.
Yeah, like also football has changed a lot. So like they need someone who can actually like who would be something like I don't know, like they what they're basically trying to do, try to get some crosses from wings to Ronaldo, or other than that, like some vertical, uh, s- some passes from some through passes from Paul Pogba. But Fernandez was playing well. But I think he's kind of like in Ronaldo's shadow now, because
Yeah.
the spaces he used to get in is actually like right now is occupied by Cristiano Ronaldo. So like he's trying to find his identity, but he's still performing well for the team. But they still need like this boost, like a this sort of coach. And so far I did not find anyone who can actually coach, at least from England, who can coach.
Well, not really. I actually like uh, Brighton's coach a lot.
mm,
I think he has done very well uh, for the team, and I think they've got or gathered the most amount of points in their first 6 matches in their club's history, or something like that. So I think, given how his stock is rising, I mean, he would still do a better job. What I'm saying is, or even say, for example, someone like Brandon Rogers, who's doing some work in Leicester City. I think he's very very good in terms of tactical understanding.
yeah, but with the thing about Rogers, I
He's a
actually
Liverpool
watched.
resident too.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. But I saw the match against City when Leicester was playing, and they actually were making some sort of trouble with all those changing position in the front, because we used to see Leicester as a static for a while, even after Ranieri was gone. And there were some sort of like a static 4-4-2 or something like this.
No, this
It's
team
not
is
like
very very
it's
dynamic.
yeah, it's more fresh. It's more like they are trying to doing something, and it's like uh, yeah, I want to give some sort of credit to Rogers. Yeah, like when he was he left Liverpool, and everyone thought like that's it for him, like in the top clubs. But he's still getting there, and this sort of changes, and I liked it a lot. But I don't think they will go for Rogers, or probably someone in the Premier League. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it almost feels like the trend that is going. Ryan Giggs had to come back and take the stint. Uh, but again, I don't expect much from United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And given that the priority should have been a good defensive midfielder, and who can switch the ball. I mean, yeah, you have Pogba who can switch the ball fairly well, and
Yeah,
the
they
wing
actually
backs.
scored. Yeah, they actually scored pretty much, like they were in the top three in
Yes,
the scoring difference, like
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
The
And
problem,
also they
well,
have in terms of Cavani, they have a very good, solid striker who would go and make runs, and who, you know, is very very experienced guy as well.
yeah,
Uh,
also yeah, they are I can understand that they are trying to use Ronaldo's aerial abilities, but still he can make these, like false striker moves to the defense, and try to draw out all the attention to him and make some sort of space. He was actually doing that sort of thing, but the thing is that,
but
like,
the problem was Bruno Fernandes, exactly what you
Yeah,
say.
yeah, exactly. Like they were actually like too similar, like
Yes.
even like with
I mean, he was occupying the spaces that Bruno would run normally, and
yeah,
and then he has to adjust at this point to Ronaldo's.
yeah.
But yeah, moving away from United, because then, to be honest, I'm not excited to say that Arteta is still in Arsenal, and looks to be. I mean, that game versus Tottenham must have changed something.
Actually, the major change was Aubameyang was playing in front, like their front man, and it is supposed to be like this because they bought him to replace Giroud or someone else, and he was playing fairly well even when Sanchez was there. No, not Sanchez, someone else. Even with Lacazette playing on the wings, but yeah, but he was not the guy who can actually track back, and like he was more like pushing the defenders on the back, and I don't know what what happened. Like probably they have the game today. I don't know. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
might.
it's his position, like a natural position as a number nine, at least for the last few years.
But what it does is there is a bit of rumor going on about Arteta's future, where the Arsenal is going. And given that Vieira doing, actually not Vieira doing very well with the Crystal Palace, there's definitely strong rumors of, and it will eventually because Vieira is one of the Arsenal legends, and he's doing very well in
Yeah,
his.
wanted to take over when Wenger left in 2018, probably. Yeah, and but at the time he was coaching in United States, so like nobody was trusting him, like or but the thing is that like with Vieira he was always the technician, like with this invincible team he was the one who actually like get he even scored few important goals for them in that season or like afterwards, but it, I don't know like
Sorry to interject, and also somehow the I wouldn't say defenders uh, or the defensive midfielders normally gets to be a better tactician or coach because I don't know, somehow they can read the game better. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but the thing with them is like since last 15 years is always with the monies, and I don't know like if they are going to change uh, uh, there would be any change in the board. Uh, but I think it's about time to make some changes in the board because like every team is like going up and Arsenal is like staying there like for a while, and it's not good actually, especially
Well,
like I'm an Arsenal fan, so
thankfully they're out of the relegation zone at this point. But
yeah,
that's not the one.
yeah, that's not the position they're supposed to be there because they are one of the oldest and most one of the most historic clubs in the Premier League so far. So
Anyway,
let's
let's move from Arsenal and Arteta. But yeah, good job on them for winning that North London derby. Uh, yeah, I'm actually uh, getting out the teams that we should speak about in England. But the one thing I was very interested and I wanted to talk since we talked about Atletico versus AC Milan game.
yeah.
There was a point in Diego Simeone fielded because they were trailing 1-0 in San Siro, and he had Luis Suarez up top. Then Angel Correa. At some point, he had Joao Felix, uh, Thomas Lemar, Antoine Griezmann. I mean, I was thinking, oh, holy, is it Diego Simeone or is it Atletico Madrid? What the heck I'm seeing? But yeah, it was refreshing to see, and obviously, Griezmann did score that equalizer, and obviously Luis Suarez got that penalty, and they have won. But it's incredible to see Atletico Madrid have the best attack in La Liga.
Well, if you say it 2 years ago, I wouldn't believe it. But it's right there, right? When, what can you say? Like how they're playing so far, they're always defensively solid. Like it's always his philosophy, and they now have like a
That team had Rodrigo De Paul too. I mean,
yeah,
he was substituted and he was almost there, like creating chances. And it was refreshing to see. I mean, if they can play in that way too. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry to interject.
Yeah, actually, like the thing is that like now he has this attacking option. I think he's trying to get out of his shell. But I would say like they should play more fiercely against Barcelona or Real Madrid because
Which
in La Liga,
is which is going to
even
happen
yeah,
in 30 minutes time. Barcelona
yeah,
versus Atletico
Atletico
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah.
So, any prediction? Is it the last match of Coman?
Uh, well, who knows? uh,
I don't know.
com-
Like I still could not believe that. Like, but thing with Barcelona now, right now, is always financial because they are right now they are still trying to replace him with Roberto Martinez or some high-profile coaches or like Andrea Pirlo.
and
But I
Andre
would
Pirlo, by
literally
the way, is not a high-profile coach. Uh,
no. That's why I said or. He's still a high-profile name in football. So
well,
like
there was a lot of
I was
names were circulating around, and one of them was obviously Roberto Martinez. He's going to be preparing Belgium's game in this international break that is
yeah.
coming in a week, and he denied there is no contact from Laporta. And who else was there? Yeah, you talked about Pirlo. Then there was a rumor about River Plate manager Marcelo Gallardo or Gallardo.
Gallardo, yeah.
Yeah, he denied.
Ziba.
He denied
Yeah.
as well, and I think now no top managers want to take the job of Barcelona and
But
Xavi as well. I mean, if you think he's a,
yeah, also like there is this coach from Remy, France, Garcia.
yeah, no, I get it, but he's not the front runner at this point. But
Yeah,
eventually might be. I don't know. There's another name I heard, and it was very interesting name because he did fairly well with Osasuna, and in the years before, if you can beat Real Madrid 3-4 goals down, and you'd be in the radar of Barcelona. So Javi Garcia, I say Garcia or
Javi Garcia.
Garcia, yeah, he was in Valencia. He beat Real Madrid. Wherever he faced Real Madrid, he beat them. But if that's the criteria, I don't know. But they're looking for names, and I think Laporta at this point wants someone cheap and someone experienced at least in the.
Yeah, also like Pep Guardiola's assistant's name is came up. What's his name? Liano or something like this. I forgot it actually.
Okay, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
There
but
was a bit of rumors about Eric Ten Hag as well, but they cannot afford him at this
no,
point.
you won't actually. But who do you think would be perfect or?
I thought at this point Barcelona, if they're doing a rebuilding process, I don't think Xavi wants to take over because Xavi was people's popular choice, and Xavi doesn't want to take over because he has this ex-teammate Sergio Busquets,
Yeah.
Sergio Roberto. He doesn't want to do that dirty job. Plus, he has sided himself with because Barcelona is a very political club. He sided himself with Victor Font, in the presidential candidate, and it doesn't. And once Laporta have emerged, he went silent. So Laporta doesn't want him to take over without taking the B team's job. But on that same, it's a bit of politics. On the same logic, the B team coach was Pimentia. Most of the players you can see right now are actually from B team, and Pimentia was the coach. Now Pimentia was sacked last May, and I thought that was the best possible option at that point. But they have persisted with Koeman because they didn't want to pay Koeman. Now Koeman getting bigger and bolder because he knows he's a dead man walking, and he would rather take the money uh, rather than the win. And especially they've done fairly well against Levante in the last game of the La Liga, but again suffered suffered against Benfica.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like 2-3 nil loss
3
in a
0.
row.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Bayern Munich game that seriously. I mean, Bayern is right now, I think, the top tier team. I would take that with the young guys. They've been beaten 3 0, that's fine. But I think against Benfica, that hurts most. Uh, and something has to change. And given that, there's the Atletico game coming up, and Atletico needs that win as well. Uh, I don't know. It's very messy for in Barcelona for a long time, and I think it's the very low. As a fan of the football club Barcelona, I think there was a slogan called "More than a club." I think it's not that more than a
Masculine.
club anymore. Yeah, Masculine club. But I think it's just one more club right now at this point, and they're going through some hard times. I don't expect them to win against Atletico, to be honest.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like uh, who would replace Coman or like at this point I actually like gave up like this like a musical chair or something like
Yeah,
this. And
they're talking about Thierry Henry. They're talking about whoever the ex players are. Maybe Gabi Milito. I don't know. But yeah, it's uh, it's hard time for any Barcelona fans, and the way the club is running and run. And also, I didn't like the way every time there's a problem, Laporta coming in and basically showing his face. He's a very much kind of flamboyant sort of media seeking president. He wants to be president and wants to talk, and sometimes when you talk too much, you talk a little bit of garbage here and there too, right? So that didn't help. And Koeman,
yeah, it's the same thing I saw from what's his name, um, the guy before.
Bartomeu.
Actually, forgot. But the movie, yeah,
How can
wow,
I? How
I
can
forgot. Yeah, it's
the
the same.
the guy who you didn't take? We didn't want to take name. So yeah.
Yeah, he who must not be named.
uh, Jose Maria Bartomeu.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. Like their chances. I'm not thinking about Champions League, but for league, even like they
But they
being in
they
top
want
three,
they,
four
they want someone
would
to
be.
rebuild,
Mm,
and
yeah,
and to
but
rebuild, yeah, it's going to be tough.
yeah, like I would actually go for any of these B team coaches because they have like a lot of B team coaches. Like even like when Pep Guardiola left, even Bartomeu take over, but there were still like good quality, like a real good quality B team coaches. You know.
Exactly, the uh, ex Barcelona player, and he used to coach Sociedad for a while. I can't remember the name. He's a good option too. I don't know why they don't talk about him. Or someone like Carlos Unzua, who's assistant coach of Luis Enrique. I mean, there are definitely options.
What
Uh,
do you think? Like if I don't know, like if any chance Gallardo take over
I don't think so because it's not going
because
to.
I kind of liked his coaching like philosophy and like it's more like a rock and roll band playing, like a
No,
punk rock music.
this bunch of Bielsa lista they call he's one of them, right? So
Yeah,
but I don't think he's going to take over at this point, given the situation, which is not stable. He doesn't want to. He don't want to take a job. Obviously, Barcelona job is still a big job, but still, you're under a lot of scrutiny, and I don't know if he would be given that kind of freedom as well. So, I'd rather see him in Monaco job, next PSG job, or something like that, rather than this. But I don't know if he wants a lot of money. He might.
let's go something a little bit less serious. Otamendi was sledging uh, Ansu Fati in the match. Do you think you are Lionel Messi? What do you think of it?
That's uh, Otamendi reminds me of Sergio Ramos.
Well, they are
It's
more, yeah, they are similar actually in most likely every way.
yeah. So yeah, and he was asking. He got here's the funny part. The game against Barcelona, Piqué was shown yellow first, right? And then on the 33rd minute, Piqué committed a foul and Otamendi wanted red, right? And he was shown yellow. And when Piqué was substituted, he was going against Piqué and he was talking something and he was shown yellow. And then the whole reason for Piqué being substituted by Koeman, he was thinking that he might get red carded. But then again,
Yeah.
you've got a volatile person of Otamendi and George Jesus have left him for the next 1 hour. I think it takes courage.
Well, yeah, I would mention one of the most like interesting thing when another one like it's also seemed a little bit funny. I watched it few times when Bruno Fernandes missed the penalty against Aston Villa. What do you think of Emi Martinez? he's
He
he's
definitely
kind of like
got it.
a
What just happened? What just I saw from that game? Obviously, the penalty happened, and Bruno taken the ball, and there was few teammates, and Cristiano was a little bit far behind, right? So,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and Emi Martinez found that out, and he thought he would play a game like he did, and he asked Cristiano, hey, Cristiano, why don't you take it? This guy will miss it.
Yeah, I want you to take. It was funny.
But yeah,
Like I
that did work, and Bruno Fernandes missed it. Who's
Well, someone in the TV he was saying that like it actually put more pressure on Fernandez because he was actually kind of ignoring him. Like Emi Martinez was ignoring Fernandez. Like, yeah, you are not the penalty taker. I want the best, and it kind of put pressure on Fernandez because he actually missed only like
very
he's
few? I think
yeah
91%
like
still.
yeah 91% he still scored. Even yeah, he's like better than Cristiano Ronaldo. He
Yeah,
has
who
like
is this? 80%.
88%. Yeah, yeah,
80%. Yeah. So
80%. Yeah,
yeah, so somehow Bruno did buy into it, and then he was under pressure, and obviously, and the fans didn't help. I think it was more towards the Aston Villa side.
yeah.
So yeah, it didn't help. But yeah, that was funny, and the dance of Amy. But anyway, I guess we should wrap it up. It's getting so big,
Mm,
and
yeah.
we have missed a lot of weeks, so we had a lot to talk. I do I
Any prediction? Any prediction for tomorrow's match against City versus Liverpool in?
God, that's a tough one because it's in the Liverpool Anfield. I do feel well. It may be 2-1 to City or
Oh,
a draw, but I'd go with 2-1. I want to be a little bit bold.
exciting.
Yeah.
Mm. Well,
What,
let's
what,
see
what,
how it
what,
goes.
what about your prediction? I mean,
Um,
you're putting
hmm.
me under the bus and you're going away.
Uh, I would say like it would be more like 2-1 for Liverpool. Quite the
Yeah,
opposite.
I think that sounds more reasonable. Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's also safe, you know.
yeah, because they're the home team. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your prediction for Barcelona versus Atletico game today?
2-0 for Atletico.
2-0.
For Atletico.
I think it's a very safe at this point. I'd go with 3-0.
Yeah, but
At least a goal from Luis Suarez.
yeah. I would. Yeah, we can see that actually. But yeah, 3-0. I was going for it, but I think it wouldn't be 3-0.
Yeah, given that at Atletico after 2-0 they will take off the
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Thank you again for joining, and hopefully we'll not be well. We can be will be regular. Otherwise, our whole niche of this podcast would be lost because we always say we are the irregular ones. Then, but we don't want to be that much longer irregular. Hopefully, we'll talk very soon. Thank you again, and if anyone is actually watching still now or listening, please
Or miss
subscribe.
a few laughs,
What was that? Sorry.
or miss the jokes.
Oh, okay. I missed also missed some of the worst jokes you can find in the internet regarding football. Please subscribe, make some comments, no reviews, please. Thank you. Uh, yeah, bye from my side. You can say bye, Shudipta.
Bye.
Thank you.